Could a major change on the offensive line be on the horizon in 2025 involving this guy, Christian Haynes? We will explain more coming up on this edition of Seattle Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. Before we get to that, though, folks, want to make sure you're subscribed to the channel as we are quickly approaching 62,500 subscribers, just over 130 away from reaching that next milestone. For the latest happenings on your favorite team all offseason long, you got to be subscribed as we continue to bring you our daily news and rumors, sometimes 2 and 3 videos a day. Live shows twice a week on Mondays and Wednesdays. We're still doing watch parties around here, too. Even with Seattle not making the playoffs, we still had a great time on our watch party on Monday night for that Rams and Vikings game. We're covering breaking news, Q&A mailbags, free agency, trades, the draft. It's all right here on your offseason headquarters. Subscribe now for free to Seattle Seahawks Today, youtube.com/Seahawks TV. You'll be glad you did. Could Christian Haynes be moving to the center position in 2025? SI All Seahawks is suggesting that Seattle make the move for Haynes, which is pretty fascinating considering that in his time in the NFL and in college, he has never played the center position. So why move to the center position now? Let's hear from Nick Lee of SI All Seahawks on his idea. Haynes never played center while at Connecticut, exclusively playing right guard at the college level. However, he did see some work at left guard during training camp and in the preseason, creating some buzz about him potentially moving to center at some point. Seattle should at least be open to the idea after spending a third-round pick on Haynes. He couldn't crack the lineup even when injuries happened in front of him, ceding snaps to Lumea in the final 6 games after losing a competition against his fellow rookie. Clearly, this was not a good year for Christian Haynes. I don't think anybody is going to call that an insult by any stretch of the imagination. It's just a fact. There was an opportunity for Christian Haynes to compete for playing time with Anthony Bradford, that Anthony Bradford goes down, and you would think that he would have been the front runner to assume that job, but that did not happen as Lumea ended up beating him out and getting that chance to play those final games at the right guard spot. But that does not necessarily mean that for Christian Haynes, all hope is necessarily lost at this. It was his rookie campaign. It's a transition to the NFL. I think coaching was a big part of it. We talk about this offensive staff of Ryan Grubb getting moved on. You know, they obviously fired him, and I'd be surprised if Scott Huff is back. And I think a lot of it has to do with, you know, we point to John Schneider and the selections that he's made for the offensive line, but they weren't necessarily developed either. And that's something I think that you could point to with Christian Haynes, that coaching necessarily didn't help him out to get him where he needed to be on that front. Nick Lee writing this as well. Given the fact that Seattle used a third-round pick on Haynes with his quality skill set, they should find more ways to make it work. Clearly, he is talented. Perhaps he can showcase what he was praised for in college better at another position, that is taking good angles and bringing the power and nastiness to his blocking style while not possessing elite length. That might be better suited for a chance to play center. Now, I'll say this. If Seattle is going to go this route, if they decide that they want to move Christian Haynes to center, if they're thinking about it, then this is something that I personally think they should decide upon pretty quickly. Now, you might have to wait a little bit depending on who the new offensive coordinator is going to be and who the offensive staff looks like at the O-line coach and all that, what ideas they have in mind and what they think. But the sooner that you make this call, and if you decide that, hey, Christian Haynes needs to be a center, then that process needs to get moving. That way he can get to training and get to that offseason work and really learn the position, a position he hasn't played. I think that they need to figure this out rather quickly if they're going to go that route. So let's ask you, should the Seahawks move Christian Haynes to the center position? It's our pinned comment today. Weigh in, let us know. Type Y for yes, in for no. Chime in the comments section below. Today's show is sponsored by Gametime. Gametime is the place to go for the best seats, the lowest prices guaranteed, whether you're looking for tickets to sporting events, concerts, theater productions, comedy shows, and more. Gametime's got you covered, including tickets to see the Seattle Kraken in action. Here's what you do. You choose the event you want to go to. They got the prices listed. You choose your seat, see if you like that seat or not, and then you're checking out on Gametime with Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo, all major credit card providers. And the thing I love about Gametime, folks, is let's say that you're deciding on a whim. I want to go to a sporting event tonight or concert, whatever it may be. Where I have saved money and where you can save money is by waiting till the last minute. As the prices go down, the closer it gets to when that event starts. They have some great features, from their super deals where you could just save a ton of money. They also have the customize your seat option where you can find the seat for you. And on top of that, they have their seat views where you can get the 3D visual, see what that seat is like. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code ChatSports, $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last-minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. So, how likely is it that Christian Haynes could move to the center position? Well, according to Seattle head coach Mike Macdonald, he hasn't quite ruled it out. But he's not necessarily all in on the idea either. Macdonald said this recently when speaking to the media. If Christian Haynes could move to center, he said, we'll see. Right now, I'm thinking more offensive guard, but that's a conversation that can be had. So he's open to the possibility. Now, my takeaway from this, here's where I fall in line, folks. I honestly don't care what position Christian Haynes plays. I just want to see him out there in some way, shape, or form playing at a high level. If that means him playing right guard, if that means he plays center, if that means he plays left guard, I just want this Seattle offense, this coaching staff, to develop Christian Haynes and to find a spot that he can be used as a third-round pick, as a two-time All-American selection out of UConn. There's too much talent here to be wasted. Yes, he needs an opportunity, and they need to find the right opportunity for him, but then he's got to be utilized correctly and developed to be able to take that next step where he can be trusted and get the playing time on the football field. Because simply, you look at what happened this past year, 16 games played as a rookie, but did not get the chance to start a single game. He didn't earn that opportunity. He got beat out. It was not a ton that we saw from him in his limited number of snaps. He allowed 1 sack, got called for 2 penalties this past season. It was a small sample size. Obviously, the coaches saw him in practice every day. They know more than you and I do when it comes to Christian Haynes. The way I look at it, even though he played in 16 games this season, but because it wasn't a lot of snaps, he basically took a redshirt year of sorts with this Seahawks team this past season, where he was getting acclimated to how the NFL operates, how things go in Seattle without even seeing the field really a ton. Just over 160 snaps is what he played this season. It feels like a great unknown with Christian Haynes. I don't know if he's going to be, a long-term starter in this league. There was people talking about him when he was coming out of college as a guy that could be a 10-year starter. I haven't seen that yet, but I've also heard from folks that are already calling him a bust, saying that, hey, this third-round rookie on a bad offensive line got beat out by a sixth-round rookie and never could capitalize on his opportunity. I understand that argument, but I think that's too early to call him a bust just yet, especially when you consider who was coaching him on that front. The numbers, the PFF grades from Christian Haynes this past season, not too great in his small sample size, with 167 snaps, an overall grade of 48.5, a pass block grade of 51.9, and a run block grade of 49.8. And his snap numbers, we mentioned, has never played that center position. He would have to learn a whole new position here. Last year, he played 164 snaps at right guard, 3 snaps at the left guard spot. So he's barely even played left guard, let alone trying to move him to center. It would be a learning curve, to say the least, when it comes to that with Christian Haynes. Do you believe in Christian Haynes? Do you think he can still do something in the NFL, or are you out on Christian Haynes? Weigh in, let us know. Type B for believe, D for don't. For continuing Seahawks coverage, subscribe now to Seattle Seahawks Today. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.